Welcome back to Inside Boxing's Throwdown. My name is Steve Johnson, my co-host Radio Martinez. We're going to get into it at radio here. Right now we're going to talk about August the 19th at the Pinnacle Center there in Omaha, Nebraska. Terrence Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
He's going to fight Julius Indongo. It's going to unify the light welterweight titles.
Well, let's finish up. We told the audience that we're going to finish up on the undercard.
Oh, you want to do that first?
But yeah, then we won't have to come back to that.
Okay.
But just so we don't leave them hanging.
Just so we don't want to leave you hanging. There's only one intriguing fight on that undercard with Broner and Mikey Garcia, and that is where we have Jamal Charlo. You know, he's fighting a guy, I can't remember his name, but for the WBC, it's a title eliminator. It's a middleweight title eliminator.
Remember his name?
I can't
give you no help on that one.
Okay, Jorge Sebastian Highland. He's 29-4 and 2 with 16 KOs. It's a WBC middleweight title eliminator, and the winner of that fight gets to fight Triple G because Triple G is mandatory.
It becomes a mandatory. Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to bring that out. I like the Charlo brothers. I really do.
Really, you have to like them. You know, they're very talented.
But
this fight for Jamal, this Highland guy is another guy similar to Indongo that Terrence Crawford is going to fight. Not well known here in the United States, you know, but somebody that's been widely recognized as a tough out. So it'll see how long. For me, with the Charlo brothers, I'm sorry. It's for me who can stand in how long. You know, I just want to see Jamal Charlo get him and Triple G go. I really want to see that because I don't think Triple G now.
Well, and I'm with you. But my whole question is, what happens when Triple G loses to Canelo? They still going to make that fight?
Well, the WBC's involved. We already know.
I mean, if it becomes a mandatory, then it's not against Triple G. So they really are putting the horse ahead of the cart. You know, he becomes a mandatory for whoever's the champion,
which will be Canelo.
Exactly.
And once again, like I said, WBC, like you said earlier, they're in the driver's seat on this. Okay. Yeah. I'll let you run more with the WBC.
But okay, no. But let's get now. This segment we want to focus on Terrence Crawford.
Yes.
You know, because Terrence Crawford is quickly becoming the good guy of boxing. Good guy in personality, good guy in spokesmanship, good guy in the sport of boxing, and a good guy in the ring. I mean, you just can't beat him. The guys like Mikey Garcia, he has an IQ in the ring that can't be beat. He knows what to do. No matter what you bring to him, if you bring to him a bounce, he's gonna stop the bounce. If you bring a run, he's gonna stop the run. If you bring an aggressive, he's gonna knock you out. Okay, so he's one of them fighters that know how to perform in the ring, and he isn't set in just one style. I like the kid.
You know what, Radio? I have to say this, and anyone that's had the opportunity to see Terrence Crawford train. You know, he trains down here at altitude in the Springs with Coach Charles Leverett at the WCAP gym down there. I'm sorry, not WCAP. It's his own.
He's got
his own gym down there in Colorado Springs. But the thing that you notice about Terrence Crawford is that Brian Bo McIntyre, regular guest on our show, is his trainer. Bo has to do very little with Terrence when you go watch him train. Terrence has his workout regimen, and you see that it's just 1, 2, 3. I mean, everything he knows what he has to do, and he does it. Then they end up with sparring.
See, and that's a blessing because he's always been with Bomac.
Yeah. So
it's like he knows what to do, and you know he's been trained well. Yeah. I mean, to understand the game and understand what he has to do in the ring.
Well, the reason I mention that is because not to throw dirt on Adrian Broner, but I'm gonna throw dirt on him. See, Terrence Crawford does his work ethic, for lack of better term, is just that. I mean, it's there regimented. He does it. He's consistent with what he does. I think Terrence Crawford walks around probably weighing 145. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's like Floyd in that he's not out of shape. He could probably take a fight on a week's notice with anybody and be ready to go. That is an anomaly nowadays. You know, most of the guys, like they say, they'll tell you, "Oh, I can't take a fight. I need at least 6 weeks to get in shape." No. That's where Terrence Crawford. Most people that have, and that's pretty much known nationwide. that he is the real deal, all around, the all around package. He had one little hiccup there, you know, in Omaha with a little dispute about a car, but that was cleared up.
Let's talk about this fight, okay? Let's talk about this fight.
You can talk about this fight. I don't know anything about Julius.
But what makes this neither did I until we started knowing this was a thing. But you know what's intriguing about this fight, Steve? What's intriguing about this fight is the winner of this fight will become
the
only one today active fighter that will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Unified.
Come on, man.
But I lost it there for a minute. I lost it. I knew what I wanted to say. Unified champion, and will hold all the belts because this guy coming in to fight.
He has the WBO and IBF belt.
He has the WBO and the IBF belt, and Terrence has
WBA and IBF.
And Terrence has the other two.
Right.
You know, the WBC and the other two. But anyhow, my point is, we will have one world champion
in the light welterweight division,
and that's great. You don't have to sit here and say, well, who's the champion of the welterweights? Well, you got this guy here, this guy here, this guy here. You got all these champions. You're gonna have one. Okay, so the winner of this bout will come out as the world champion.
Yep.
Isn't that nice? I mean, that's really nice. So,
it really is, because you know what? We, like folks, we went and looked at length to see if there was somebody else that had that. And no, most divisions have, we named the 4 predominant sanctioning bodies right now.
Yep.
WBC, WBO, IBF, and WBA. And almost every one of them in all the weight classes, they've got 2 or 3 title holders from, you know, in those classes. So that's first of all, let's say good job with Top Rank to put this fight together, because Indongo, sorry to say, but him being the IBF title holder, he was able to kind of lay in the weeds and hold on to this title, and Bob Arum was able to put pressure on them and get this fight. I think we all know how this fight should go, especially when it's in Omaha.
Yeah.
The fight almost had to be in Omaha, to be honest, because if it wasn't held in Omaha, there would be no real fan interest in the fight. Top Rank has currently got to be working on, and I'm sure they're trying to get this fight, you know, get more and more moving towards this fight with Terrence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. That's the only thing that makes sense for them to try to do a radio, because even though those of us who know about about Terrence Crawford, we know how talented he is, but he still doesn't have enough to garner that pay-per-view. Yeah. You know, and this other guy, Indongo, Julius, title holder, world champion, doesn't have the juice to be able to do that. So they're building up to be able to make Terrence that pay-per-view guy.
Right, and I think he will eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Eventually, people, you know, they enjoy the being able to watch him now. But you know, it's not going to be long before he's going to be a pay-per-view attraction. And
another thing that you mentioned, which was a good point. This fight is on ESPN. Now, remember, it was just seems like a few months ago, I'm sure it was longer than that, but there was this big to-do from ESPN. They signed Oscar De La Hoya to, 24 fights?
24 fights.
Or something like that.
Which was a few years.
Yeah, and now Bob Arum has kicked that all the way to the curb.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it?
I'm still amazed at how it did, but Bob Arum is right there.
And you know what? I'm actually glad. I don't know what they're doing with Oscar, if they're still honoring that 24 fight, but now with Bob Arum in the picture, bringing in his fights to ESPN, that 24 fights with Oscar, if it's still intact, is going to string out from 3 years to maybe a decade. Okay, because Oscar will bring to ESPN what he felt ESPN was all about in boxing, and that's subpar contest. Okay, that's his fighters beating up opponents, bringing them in from wherever. Okay, so that's not going to help ESPN's rating. Fights like this one, Terrence Crawford, and the last one that was on the premiere one that was on ESPN. Them are the kind of fights that are going to bring the viewership to ESPN. I mean, you remember ESPN was top dog in boxing for a long time, and if they keep this up, they'll be top dog again.
Hey, real quick before we end this segment, let's talk about a little bit about the undercard. two people that we both know very well. Actually had them both on the show before. Denver's own Mike Alvarado is on the undercard. Mike, we know that they're slowly working him back into the mix with the Top Rank, building up competition with him. The other one is Mike Reed from Waldorf, Maryland. Mike is light welterweight. Mike is now 22-0.
Yes, indeed.
With yes, indeed, with 16 KOs, I think. And Mike is another guy that Top Rank is bringing along slowly, the right way. I'm just a little bit disappointed in right now, and I'm sure Bob Arum knows what he's doing. But when is Mike Reed going to headline in his own hometown? I'm waiting for that, and they're in Washington D.C. I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm sure that, like I said, Bob Arum knows what he's doing, but I'm waiting for that. Mike now with 22 fights and all of them victories, and sooner or later it's got to happen.
I'm with you. I'm kind of waiting, but Bob Arum's all about finances.
Exactly.
Okay,
That's
finances,
what I said.
And I'm sure if he felt holding a fight in D.C. in his hometown would bring major revenue to his organization, Top Rank, he'd do it. But for some reason, he's not pulling the trigger just yet. So
we get to see one thing is that, like I said, we got a couple of things going here. Terrence Crawford, I know for a fact he wants Manny Pacquiao. Okay.
Yeah.
Bob Arum is holding that off. I think that if things go the way they wanted to go on Saturday night, on August the 19th, I think that you might see Mike Alvarado go against Terrence Crawford, and then the winner of that will be right there to get Manny Pacquiao.
That's interesting because, let's talk about Mike Alvarado a little bit.
Well, hold up. Let's talk about that in our third segment because I need to go get some more coffee. So let's talk about Mike Alvarado in our third segment.
So we don't string this along.
Yeah.
We'll come back and we'll talk about Mike Alvarado, his career, where he's been, where he's at, and hopefully where he's going to be.
Exactly.
Okay?
All right.
So, come back and see us. Until then,